Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Tom Carlson Show for Thursday, June 25th, 1941. What's the deal with 1941? Are we going to World War II? 1941, I don't think we're in it yet. All you history buffs out there, let me know. What's going on, dude? How are ya? How's your week going? You hanging in there on a Thursday? You back in the office? I am not. I am still chilling in New York by myself and furloughed. And New York City is entered phase 2 on Monday. So that means hair salons, restaurants, with seating outside, and more stores are open. It's not nearly as sketchy here, you know. I should have opened with the classic Michael Scott. Oh, how the turntables. Because it is, it's not, because I'm trying to travel out to places. And it's, the more this corona hangs around, the longer it's going to take me to get on stage. But it is a little nice to see everybody else freaking out and not being prepared at all. And now they're having to live what I have lived for the last 4 months in New York. For example, so bought my plane ticket to come out to Idaho. And I sent it to my mom. My mom's very cautious because she has my dad works at the hospital. He's a doctor there, and then my mom has some pre-existing conditions that make her more susceptible to the virus. So she's like, stay away from everyone starting June 1st. And I was like, well, Mom, listen, you better recognize New York City is now the safest place in the United States. Can you believe that? And the reason it's safe is because of the governor, not the goddamn mayor. Mayor is catching up, man. He got wrecked through this whole thing. I doubt de Blasio gets another term. But Cuomo did such a great job, and it's because he's not reading lines. It's genuine what someone says. So when, God, I really hope you guys didn't retweet or like this. I'm sure some of you did, but use it as a learning opportunity again. That terrible video with the celebrity saying, oh, what did they say? It was like, I take responsibility for the maybe not so Kate joke, blah, 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 blah. Bullshit. And they're reading lines. You can see their eyes going back and forth. Why? That's why, that is exactly why actors in particular, and it also includes singers, other entertainers, not so much comedians, because a comedian's ego is so low because every time he goes on stage, there's a potential that he gets booed off the stage. So you're right there. You're the same as everybody else for the most part. So even if you get some famous comedians, not named Chris D'Elia, they're mostly pretty level-headed and think a lot. Think of George Carlin. I would love to hear what he would say about things right now. We could really use some of that insight. Chappelle is kind of on the same level with that, a little different because of the color of his skin. And I couldn't believe how connected he is to all this stuff. When I watched 846 a few weeks back, or a couple weeks back, his father, not his father, excuse me, I think his grandfather, I think, marched with Martin Luther King, and his great-grandfather before that was a slave. So old Davey here knows exactly what's going on, and the best thing he said that I wish all you whiteys would listen to is the streets are speaking for themselves. Okay? You could support and everything, but connecting it to those actors and stuff, those are the last people anyone wants to listen to. is as a white person who has millions of dollars and lives in a gated community where there's probably no corona. They're just bored. They can't do more shows and make more money. You know, you get it. Um, so it's so nice to see New York getting back to normal. It's really, I mean, I guess I'll do well in prison if I ever go there because, I was having a decent enough time by myself hanging out in my, 100 square foot apartment. Uh, but phase two is this Monday, so I was out shooting some video yesterday, and I just walked by this barber shop on a Wednesday because I don't have to work a desk job anymore. Um, and I got a haircut. And I always loved getting my hair cut. There's nothing better than when you get a good barber or whatever, stylist or what have you. Because yesterday I definitely had a stylist. I prefer a barber because he knows how to cut hair better. Men know how to cut hair better than women. Do you agree or disagree? And it was awesome. I had this Asian lady, and if you know anything about the Asian ladies, in as far as like massage or like hair or like for the girls like your mani pedi stuff, they are the best. I don't know what's going on with their hands, but never felt anything more comfortable on my scalp. So it was great, and I gave her a big tip because, well, that's a terrible thing to say. I hate when people say that. So, you asshole, Thomas, trying to show virtue signal that you're a good person. But support the people that have been out of work for a while, right? And it is getting hot in the city, and so I was running for about a good couple months, like every day, every other day. I don't think I can do it anymore. It's too hot. It's too hot, too humid. UV's like a 9 every day. RMAC, jealous. So that's what's been going on here. Personally, I did finally get my watch that I also purchased prior to the furlough, and it's a G-Shock watch at G-Shock. Advertise with me. This is the coolest watch I've ever seen in my life. So it's one of those old Casios, if you even remember those. But then G-Shock makes like an incredible band, and it has like 6 satellites dedicated to it. It's dope. So I do have to admit, like I'll have to flex on you a little bit here. Like my wrist gets tired holding this thing. And other than that, it's been pretty shitty seeing, like 2 days ago, I was pretty positive that sports were going to come back. And now that we have states as dumb as Florida, South Carolina, California, Texas, they're just killing the opportunity. And I don't know if we're going to have college football now because, some areas of the country are going to be able to do it a lot easier than others, i.e. Clemson. But when Clemson did their Black Lives Matter, I Can't Breathe, George Floyd unity protest down there, I mean, it's about 100 degrees in Clemson, South Carolina, next to the water, 100 degrees or 100% humidity. And so when I was watching it, I was like, oh, fuck. They're going to get popped with corona, and sure enough, they did. But I was listening to, I think, whoever the advisor is to the board of trustees there, that Clemson, and this is how you got to do it. This is kind of how New York's doing it right now, actually. If everyone in Clemson, which is in the middle of nowhere, just wore a mask and they didn't let anyone in or out, the virus would be gone in 3 weeks. And you know what? That would be the case in the entire United States if we did this in February. Okay? So I'm not going to kill anybody anymore. I did that a couple days ago. But I'm not going to associate myself with people who are two-faced and don't actually care about other people. We got to get this thing going. I don't care if there's going to be a vaccine on January. I can't be out of work for like a year. How am I going to do that? So that's what's going on in New York. For those of you watching on YouTube or watch my last one, I am going to continue shooting video around the city with some nice lighting and play that for my YouTube. So I think for today, I've already got what you're going to be looking at is Park Avenue at 61st Street, looking south down towards the mega MetLife building, and then you can also see like the Pencil building that looks over Times Square. That's in every movie. It has 6 windows across, but it's like the tallest building on the south side of Central Park. I got some feedback on the last one. It's, even if you don't want to listen to my aggressive talking language, it's still pretty cool for you folks not from the East Coast to see what's going on in the city. If I can get some protests and stuff, I'll put that on my YouTube as part of the Tom Carlson News Network, so we don't have to listen to Don Lemon crying over shit, and you can actually know what's going on. And speaking of the media kind of screwing the pooch on things, it's not so much that on this part. It's the society's ultra sensitivity at the moment, which is what I was worried about when I started seeing all this Instagram shit from Whitey's. And I'm taking you back to a couple days ago when they found the noose in Bubba Wallace's garage. And so, of course, everyone is hypersensitive right now. And fortunately, I was like, yes! FBI came in and figured this thing out in about 20 minutes. Which just goes to show you how qualified everyone's police force is. This would have taken them, they probably would have, I'm not going to say that, but, they would have fucked it up. And apparently this noose, which is what it is, you racists. If I can pull it up here, let's see. I wish the head NASCAR guy, like these are NASCAR people, was like, there's 1,000,001 ways to tie a rope to pull down your garage door. This was, without a doubt, a noose. So the question is, why? And so what they think happened was this thing was back there in October of last year. And so, fortunately, thank God, Bubba Wallace was not the victim of an was not the victim of a hate crime intended directly towards him. So I hope they figure out stuff. But then you know what happens with these people now on both sides. This is liberals and the Reds. And I was watching the news. I follow the news channel. For the most part, I'll watch NBC local news. Okay, to me, they seem to do the best, most professional production. That's all I really care about. And they don't seem, and I'm not watching the national stuff. I'm watching the local stuff so I know if there's like a bomb next door to me, And, they kind of doing this tweet stuff just to get people to click, And, a couple things happened. So, the day before, KTVB, which is the Channel 7 News in Boise, Idaho, NBC, they're great. They, I think, are better than the NBC News team here in New York, only because they've been doing it together for 30 years. There's certain individuals on the New York team that are more talented easily, and they're like 30 years old, so they talk faster. And but they sent out this tweet like it was something along the lines. It was like a picture of a mask, and it was like where to buy masks, because Idaho really fucked up, and it's just like, so I kind of lost my mind because of my parents living there. My dad goes to the hospital every day. My older sister goes to the hospital every day. My mother is a diabetic, and I just kind of lost it on Twitter. And I was just like, what did I say? Let me pull it up here. Twitter, Tom. By the way, follow me on Twitter It's 208 Tom Carlson. I got 27 followers there. I think about half of those are bots. And where are we? Where are we? Okay, here we go. So, ktvb.com, where to buy masks. And then my response was, at this point, New York should be able to sell the excess here to y'all. Get it together. And then I added Governor Little, who is Brad Little, governor of Idaho, at Governor Cuomo, and then at Mayor Lauren McLean. Actually, Lauren McLean. You got to clean that city up, girl. And I don't know if anybody saw that. I hope they do. Let's see. Impressions 86. So it's the what happened there was, it's not the bar's fault, and it's not even the dumb morons' fault that go to the bar. It's the fact that the state and the city allowed that behavior to exist. And I'll explain the polar opposite of what's going on here in New York City. So, like I was telling my mom, I was like, listen, New York City is now the safest place in the United States as far as the coronavirus. And if you guys want to look up where your state's at, go to coronavirus.jhu.edu/testing/individual state/whatever state yours is. So, of course, John Hopkins got the perfect graphing stuff. It's kind of like your macroeconomic is what it should look like, okay? So, as of June 25th, the rate of positive tests in New York is 1%. You know how many people live here? We got 581 new positives. In between March and April, the positive rate was over 50%. And it has been a beautiful, that was the top, it's been a beautiful slow curve down now, and it's kind of in that exponential area where it's just getting closer and closer and closer to 0%. And if your state is doing the right thing, the JHU graph will actually show, it should show daily positive tests going up. Because what the Republican losers will be telling you is like, the only reason we're getting more positives because we got more tests coming out, right? That's what Trump said, right? We're all good. Wrong. New York has more tests right now than we've ever had before, and our rate of positive tests is as low as it's ever been. So that's the case in New York. For example, I'll pull a couple other ones that are problematic right now, where I have some, not so much money at stake, but things I'm trying to be doing. And for the record, the World Health Organization's rate of positive tests that they recommend being under is 5% for society to get back to normal. Look at New York getting to 1%. Currently, as of just Thursday, June 25th at 11:01 a.m. Eastern Time, Idaho is over 8% and trending up. The highest you guys ever got to was 14.8. You're at 8 point something now, moving up. Let's check what's a big one for sports. So let's check Florida, because the NBA was doing such a good job with this, and they really screwed up. I don't get it. I don't understand why people can't be more accountable as you're required to be another. I mean, I guess the NBA is accountable, but they had one plan. It's like, we're going to Orlando. And they made the plan when Orlando was still chill and everything was in the Northeast and in California. But now, once Florida has opened back up, there's over 100,000 cases of corona there. Let me check the rate of positive tests. Wow. They're over 15 now. That's not good. So the NBA's hanging on by a thread. College football's hanging on by a thread. My golf will continue. So I guess I'll just do that and bet on golf and horses. But I can't bet on horses anymore. I lose my money every time. So, oh, how the tables turn. I know right now, especially if you're not used to the corona stuff, it's probably very stressful. You're probably very scared. You don't have to be scared. Go on Johns Hopkins. Do what the CDC says. I've been doing this for 4 months. I'm fine. Wash your hands like 20 times a day. I wash my hands. Don't use a wallet. At Ridge Wallet. Advertise with me. Listen to me, Ridge. Don't use a wallet. So what I do, I was like, dude, I've had this wallet for like 5 years. Why am I touching this? So I took out all my cards, and I take one card with me wherever I go, and I wash it every single time I get home because they're swiping it through those nasty ass card readers. Don't use a wallet, ladies. I'd say don't use a purse. Bring like a, bags and bags sort of thing. It's not the funniest podcast so far. So, but we are where we are, and I have time to kind of look up some of this stuff. I know you guys are plugging in spreadsheets and hitting the total sum button, so I'll do some of the work because to be honest, from a journalistic endeavor, I enjoy it. I hope the mic sounded nice, and I'll try and do some more ASMR sounds, soothing sounds. Bow, chicka, wow, wow, wow. Oh boy, guys. So if you're out in those states, man, take care of yourselves. I'm trying to do some stuff with my friends, and at this point, I'm kind of waiting to see if I'm able to, or if I'm going to just stay here in New York where it's safe, which is, can't believe I'm saying that. Speaking of the NBA, they're going to be doing this down in one of the World Disney places down there. And I really hope ESPN really gets inside and just keeps camera teams in there. Like, it's not that hard to go away from your family for 1 to 2 months, man. It's not. Look at the military guys. They do tons of those things. Unfortunately, most of their wives fuck other dudes while they're gone. But what are you going to do? I don't think you're going to be doing that to NBA players with that kind of change around on them. And prenups. But I'm really hoping ESPN gets in there and we get to see what kind of masks these guys are wearing. They should probably have $1,000 masks. Speaking of which, I will be getting my website out in the next couple weeks, and my aunt's got some stuff that she sells. She sewed me my mask, and she can sew. My masks are probably as nice as any that I've seen on the news channel, or nicer. And they're more breathable, they're not too, I can breathe in humid ass New York with them, and I'm okay. So I'm going to try and get those on there. She's real busy right now selling a house at the moment, but I couldn't believe that I was seeing that Idaho was like, where do we get masks? And it's just like, what have you been doing since February? They're there, but it's a reflection of the entire system. As an example, when Robert Kraft, the owner of the Patriots, flew his own damn plane to China and brought back masks for the Northeast. So, when we're relying on comedians and famous people like myself and, owners of football teams to help us, we're in trouble. So, obviously we got the votes coming up here. I think some of the primaries are already going. One thing I am going to start doing, because in New York you've got I don't even know how many districts, man. There's a ton, right? And so it's way more. There's political ads every 2 seconds for different districts, and I'm going to start doing some breakdowns on these, and I'll post them on YouTube because I'm pretty sure if you're a public figure, you can't copyright that. I can just use it if I want to and comment on it because it's in the public eye at the moment. And so there's this scientist lady. That's her thing. She's the scientist runner, okay? And the premise behind her advertisements that she has one of those really uncomfortable, I proudly and lovingly approve this message. Ugh! her stance is, I am going to use science and the scientific method to solve things in Washington, D.C. And I was like, oh, that's it. Let's just get a bunch of scientists in there, and then we're good, right? Corona. Excuse me. So I'm filming those all the time, and sooner I can get those out there before voting, I think would be better for everyone. Also, I know everyone's freaking out right now. I was talking to my dad about this the other night, and I was like, oh, how much you want to bet on who's going to win the presidential race? Because we both think different people are going to win. And I was like, because you can. Bovada! Come on, Bovada! Bovada! This Bovada. Hey! I do a podcast twice a week, and I mention you in every single one. Will you please pay me $20 for lunch on a couple? What's your name? What's the name of the show? It's the Tom Carlson Show. It's on iTunes. How many views or listens do you have? About 20. Bovada? Bovada? But you can bet on Bovada. I think, let me pull it up right now. Let's see who was up there. Old, blonde, long-haired legs Biden was, I think, a minus 150, and Trump was even the other day. But now that I think there's going to be a vaccine, I think that fucks Trump. Because the only thing Trump has right now is those tweets of Law and Order and the amazing commercials that he's doing. The commercials might get it for him. That's where I've seen him like, oh my God, this kind of propaganda is going to get everybody with an IQ under 100. Even the Democrats. I mean, it's nuts the way he's not smart enough, but the way his team markets it. I mean, it's fucking crazy. I mean, the last one I saw, and this is where he's really great. The last one I saw was, I'll play all of these, and I'll probably do that maybe on the Patreon show. Breakdown of politics from an ignorant, trying to be a better person, alcoholic addict, that is seeing the world through clear eyes for the first time in his life, and he's 30 years old. So it'll be interesting. But the advertisement it's this. They're in Wisconsin. It's middle of December, dark, snowy, slick ice road night, and there's this. They started off with. There's this Marine type guy, big the type. He's got kind of high and tight. Probably has a little bit of a beard. Goes hunting when he can. He's a fisher. He's got a big head. He's probably 220. Maybe was a army sniper or some shit. That's the ultimate Trump guy, right? He's got the kind of American flag, but not really T-shirt on. And he's chasing this black guy in a car. He says, "Go, go, go! Don't stop! Don't stop! Keep going!" And that's how it starts. That's the ad. And you're like, what the fuck? What is this? With what's everything going on? This is the geniuses of these guys. They're way smarter than the Biden camp. By far and away. By far and away. That's what black money gets you. That's what data and Facebook and all that shit gets you. That we all have to quit. And then they go, and it's like, that's what people see. That's what people think of that Trump supporters are. And then they show here's the real story. And I have no idea if this is true. Probably not. Maybe it was. Who knows? If it was, it'd be great. Because then, if a Trump supporter can help out a black guy who's got stuck in the snow, great, man. We're all better for it. But they go the real story is, and they kind of go through it as a little bit of a film. And it's this, the Marine Army sniper Trump guy. He's walking out to kind of look out in his community because the trees are come down at night, and he's doing the right thing, helping keep his neighborhood safe, and seeing if anybody needs help, and he sees this guy stuck in a car, and it's this black guy, and he works with him for like 20 seconds, and he gets him pushing. He's like, don't stop, keep going, keep going. And it was like this positive thing. But if Biden can't come up with that. So we'll see. I'm not putting my money on anything right now. My dad said he'd bet me 100. He put 100 down on it. And I was like, I'm probably going to, because I'm pretty sure I know what's going to happen. But the earlier bet, I mean, let's see what we can get into it. Where are you? Bovada. Anyways, I'm not going to look it up. I can't find it, or else I'm going to start playing blackjack while I'm talking to you guys. Let's see. Oh, yeah, I'm going to touch on a couple. I like the long pauses, guys. When you're talking to someone, even like on dates and stuff, man, just let the pause be. That's when you know you're comfortable with someone. If like you're cool with the silence. The best guy to do that on radio, and some people don't like it, is Jim Rome. And then he'll interrupt it with his garbage take. Speaking of college football, Oklahoma State's got to get rid of Mike Gundy. I don't know why they're still associated with him. I would be so embarrassed if I went to that school right now. For those of you who don't know and aren't sports nerds, Mike Gundy is the football coach for the Oklahoma State Cowboys. Are they the Cowboys? That shows you how good they've been, right? I don't even know their mascot. Yeah, there's some weird thing. The only reason they're any good is because they got T. Boone Pickens, who's like the oil guy of the United States, gave him the school probably over $1 billion at this point. Very similar to Phil Knight at University of Oregon. And he was caught in a picture recently, maybe 2 weeks ago, after the death of George Floyd. Let me rephrase that. After the murder of George Floyd. Jesus. That's how they try to do it, too. They're trying to, reword everything, right? And he's wearing a shirt that had the AON, which is like America Orgy News, right? And it's a far right-leaning news website and I think platform at this point for video. And it's just like one of his players, Chuba Hubbard, who I saw talk to, that guy could be the president. Oh, my God. Very impressive. Corona. And he's like, I'm not going to play for Oklahoma State if changes aren't made. And so they had this really weird press conference with him, the coach. And for some reason, the player apologized for the way he brought it up while the coach was there. And it's just like, dude, you stand on your rock. But then he came on to one of the ESPN shows and was I've never seen a coach go or a player go on a national ESPN show like not around the horn, like PTI or something, and not speak glowingly of the coach. So I think some more stuff's going to come out with Mike Gundy, and if Oklahoma State doesn't, that means they have some really serious internal problems with old people who aren't going to change and who are going to hold their beliefs. So Oklahoma State, man, better figure it out, because the longer you guys hang on to Mike, the longer it's going to be until you still don't win the Big 12. Because you're not going to beat Oklahoma. You're probably not going to beat Texas a whole lot of times anytime soon with that weird coach, Tom Herman, the P guy. I wish TCU was better, because TCU suck and kind of makes Boise State look like shit. And then I did see James Franklin, who is the football coach. This is a weird one. You guys let me know in the comments on the YouTube. I don't even know how you comment on iTunes, but if you can, do it. James Franklin, coach of the Penn State Nittany Lions. The most upstanding college football program of all time. Dads and moms send their children there because they know they're going to be safe and nothing's going to happen to them. The community looks out for their children. James Franklin, the coach of that fucking school, he didn't say this. They just reported on ESPN for some random reason, and we got to hold back on how much news we're putting out. Like, who cares? His family is going to be staying in Florida while he coaches the season. So, 2 questions. Something going on with the family? From my point of view, yeah. I never thought he was a good dude. I always thought he was shady. So I imagine something's going on there. And then secondly, if you're a recruit, why are you going to a school where the family doesn't even want to be there? You know? Florida's no safer than Penn State. So, I might do some secret pop-up shows for you guys this weekend. If not, I'll catch you back here on Monday. Have a good weekend, everybody. Good night.